It feels good to be back after 3 weeks of being away. Apologies for not actually posting videos, long form videos all this time. Things have been incredibly busy, and I just recovered from jet lag and tiredness and just like calming down after all the stress of GDC. But in this video, I would like to share with you guys, a little bit about what happened behind the scenes. And I don't have a lot of footage, but I can at least tell you what my thoughts are about GDC and why all young developers should aim to go to GDC in order to better your career. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so welcome to all those that are new to this channel. My name is Harvey Newman. I like to share my passion for animation here in this channel. I have been working as an animator, as a director for many years in the games industry, and I like to share, tips and tricks here in this channel for hopefully everybody that wants to get into game development or is interested in what goes on behind the scenes in game development to know a little bit more about the inside in our industry, this industry that I absolutely love. Now, as mentioned before, I actually went to GDC as of 2 weeks ago, I think now. It was an absolute pleasure to actually go over. So in all my years working in the games industry, I always heard about GDC. I always met people going to GDC, but I never been to GDC myself. And I knew about a lot of the stuff that happens over there, but because I'm based in Europe and all my experience has been in Europe, in different countries, I never had the chance or actually the opportunity to go over. So this was the very first time that I went over, and it was an absolute amazing experience. I realized that all of the stories that I got, all of the behind the scenes looks that I had from certain people, they were all true. And this is why it's important for you as a young developer or person that actually wants to get into the games industry, or if you want to better your career, why you should actually go to GDC. I'm going to touch in a few topics because I think it's really important. So I think the very first thing that I got from GDC was knowledge, and that is the most important thing. Knowledge. Basically, when you go to GDC, it's a whole week of different rooms with different talks, and all talks fit different people. And it doesn't really matter if you're an animator, if you're a designer, if you're a coder, whatever you do, or a young game developer, an indie developer, there's always stuff for everybody to actually attend to. So this is why a lot of talks happen at the same time, all the time. And it happens the whole day in different rooms. So you just have to look at the schedule, at the grand schedule, and attend different talks. Now, top tip that I didn't do, and I'll definitely do it next time, look at the schedule way ahead of time, at least a week before time, and plan your day. Monday this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this, and so on and so forth, because there's going to be so many things going on, at least it happened to me, that you probably won't realize that there's a really good talk happen over here, even though you just finished a talk over here. And by the time you finish that talk and you look through the schedule, you're like, you probably just missed half of that talk that you're supposed to be at. So it's really good for you to kind of plan your days at GDC, because otherwise you won't make the most out of the day. Point number 2 that I got from GDC is inspiration. And this is really important because I think that you should actually balance your talks based on knowledge, but also other talks that basically are very inspiring. It's basically like, watching or looking at a tutorial. If you look at too many tutorials back to back, you start to feel sleepy. It starts to feel slightly off and you stop paying attention. Same thing if you go for dense talks that talk a lot about the technical stuff all the time. Personally, I feel like I have to have some entertainment with my talks. So for example, they actually had Unreal, Epic announced a bunch of new tools for Unreal, which was incredibly exciting. So I didn't really attend the event live, but I saw it on the side. And the amount of tools they had and the amount of tools they actually showcased was incredibly impressive. And then to actually be there for their event in their booth, because they had a massive booth with lots of different things, and then actually have a hands-on on how the tools work and how things actually kind of like go down and it's fresh. Nobody has seen it except for maybe the people that actually have been at GDC at that point. It's really inspiring, because now as a developer, you're kind of thinking, how can you use this, right? Some of the stuff that actually kind of like resonated with me the most, definitely the UEFN, the whole Fortnite editor. I think it opened so many doors for young developers. I wish I had those tools back in the day, because I feel like most game developers at some point want to create their own game, and now with these tools that Unreal has given, even without knowing animation, even without knowing coding, even without knowing blueprint, you can still create your game. And it's actually super powerful, because I feel like a whole new generation is going to grow up with these tools and then be game developers in the future, and they're going to basically look back at these tools now and be like, if it wasn't for these tools that Unreal has just unveiled, I wouldn't be a game developer. So allows people to kind of like have the knowledge that they need in order to build a game, and knowing what's behind building a game, right? It's incredibly complex, and I think Epic is doing a brilliant job at simplifying things to a point that anybody can build a game nowadays, which is really, really cool. And for all those that are already like building things in Roblox and the games of that nature, then for them it's like an easy step to come to this AAA looking engine, Unreal, and then start building their assets in a AAA quality, right? So really, really cool, really inspiring once again. And I really felt like, even for me, I'm not really, I mean, I know Unreal from an animation point, but I feel like exploring different tools now because of this new assets, right? Other things that I enjoyed as well was the MetaHuman. Now the fact that MetaHuman has animation in it, the deformation, cloth deformation and muscle deformation was really, really cool. As an animator, I'm like, cannot wait to get my hands on that stuff. So those were some of the stuff that happened at GDC that really inspired me, that I've learned a lot from, and seeing a lot of people that I look up to doing talks, feeling inspired, was absolutely amazing. Now the other side of GDC, because you have the talks and you have the knowledge and you have the inspiration, but there's another side of GDC that you actually get to meet, or I got to meet at least, the people that I've talked to online, over social media, or I met over the years, over my, my chats, my live chats, or whatever it is in the animation community. And meeting these people face to face was absolutely amazing to me. There is actually this thing called Animation Exchange, AnimX, and it's beautiful. It's not exactly in the GDC building, it's in a building somewhere else around the GDC area, but basically it becomes a gathering spot for all basically gameplay animators, industry animators that want to hang out and want to basically, get to meet each other face to face. And also there's actually talks, live streams on Twitch. Definitely check it out. I'll leave a link down below, because Mike and the crew are actually doing an absolutely amazing job at creating this one-day animation gathering in Animation Exchange, aptly named. And I went to that event in person for the very first time. I attended the event virtually by actually kind of like, helping out and, talking and all that stuff in, I think it was last year or 2 years ago. But being there in person, seeing them actually organizing the event, seeing how many people were there that, I admire, that I look up to their work, that I actually talk to, and basically people, kind of reaching out to me as well because of the YouTube channel and telling me great things about reviews, about how much this YouTube channel has helped them. It was the most inspiring day for me at GDC, like to actually see how tight the animation community it can be, and how they actually share the knowledge with each other, how they actually like to help each other. It was incredibly inspiring to me, and I kind of left with a feeling that this is going to be bigger and bigger over the years, because I mean, if we are small and tight right now, I can only imagine as the industry grows how much bigger the community is going to be. Now, in the consequent days after Animation Exchange, they also do this animation roundtables, and this is part of GDC. And this animation roundtables is basically like a massive table that anybody can attend. It can be a student, it can be just interested in animation, you can be an experienced animator, and you go to these events at GDC, and it's basically an empty room that everybody goes in, and then basically anybody can ask questions and everybody can answer questions. And I found that it was an incredibly good forum to actually get young students or young animators to be inspired by veteran people that have lots of knowledge, right? It was a really good place for anybody that has questions to ask them directly to the veterans, and also veterans to ask young animators or students or potential hires, like, what are you looking for? What are your blockers? How can I help? Things of that nature. So really cool thing that's set up by GDC. I went to a couple of them. I think it was on Wednesday and Thursday that I went to a couple of them, but it happens also on Friday. They have about 3 days worth of these roundtable talks, really well organized. So, kudos to everybody that organized that. And I want to close the video with this. I think that if you are a young animator, if you want to be a gameplay animator, cinematic animator, VFX animator, it doesn't matter what it is, I think that is essential. I would say that is essential for you to go to GDC. And the reason why is this: everybody from the industry, especially in games, gathers under one roof under GDC. And what ends up happening, and this is basically how things kind of like panned out for me as well, is that you might start the week thinking that you're just gonna go for talks and listen and be inspired. But as the week evolves and as you meet people, as you start talking to people, and as you get introduced to people, you realize that you start networking, and by networking you start kind of like seeing that there's opportunities out there for you. So if you're either unemployed, or if you're looking for a new job, or if you're looking for opportunities, meeting somebody face to face and telling them what you have done, what you're looking for, all these other things, means that these people now actually will go back to their jobs. And if everything went well, they might actually go ahead and go, I met this guy or this girl at GDC, they were really good because of these reasons, and they're looking for a job, so I would like to recommend them because I met them face to face, and now I know what they stand for, right? We connected, I feel like they would be a good fit for this company. What you end up with is basically a massive amount of networking, people that you actually haven't met before, but now you know, and then you get to hang out, go to the cinema, go to a restaurant, go and eat, basically just make friends. And through that friendship, you actually, because this industry is so small, you start to get to be known to them, right? You start to actually be like that guy that works in here that perhaps wants to go over here. And I know of stories in the industry of many people that have got their jobs in their dream studio because they went to GDC once and they met some people and they started talking, they hanged out, they vibed out, and then they got the job because of this. So I think it's essential. So add it to your bucket list for sure as a gameplay animator to go to GDC at some point. If you are a coder, a designer, an animator, doesn't matter what you do in the games industry, or if you're aspiring to be one, I think GDC is definitely becoming the place to be if you actually want to grow your network, if you actually want to expand your horizons, if you actually want to meet people that are like-minded, that perhaps can give you an opportunity at some of these amazing companies that exist out there. So yeah, that is basically my experience at GDC. That is also what I wanted to express to you guys, because I really think that this needs to be said. A lot of people see GDC as just an event that is cool and all the cool kids go to it and all that stuff, but I think there's much more to it, and especially if you actually go with the right mindset, and if you get organized, and if you actually want to meet the right people, and if you actually want to reach out, then definitely go to GDC. And one important last point, don't be afraid of reaching out to anybody that you look up to, because I could tell that when I was there, certain people were like either slightly apprehensive to actually kind of reach out to the animators they look up to. But I think that coming out of your shell and be like, I really appreciate your work, I do this, I really like this, what you've done, always ends up in a good conversation, and people are always willing to help you. Like when I was in the animation exchange, I saw so many people, including myself, going like, don't worry, it's like, I'll give you a little piece of knowledge here, or can I help you with anything? Because I mean, we all been in the position that we are desperate for work and we're desperate to get in the industry, and we will do anything to actually talk with somebody that has knowledge. So because we can relate to that feeling, we are very much willing willing to kind of like give that knowledge now that we have it. So definitely go with that mindset if you go to GDC. I saw many people as well that reached out and very much went like, I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So that works all the time, and I'm super happy and glad to meet other people, especially with this, because I get to look at a camera and put it out there. So it's not very social whatsoever. So when I see that my videos, this YouTube channel actually makes a change, a life in people's careers and their journeys, it makes me incredibly happy. That's the reason why I do it. So seeing it in real time is incredibly humbling to me, and I feel incredibly blessed. And that's all I had for you guys. I spoke already a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't take a lot of footage, a lot of pictures, because I was way too busy, but I will do so next time for sure. Thanks a lot for my Patreons for supporting me every single month. And until next video, have a great time. See you next time, guys. And until then, stay well, stay safe. Peace.